Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We're going to go ahead and continue working on a 1-point perspective. Now that we have our back wall there, we have our picture plane, 7 points. You should have your horizon line. You should be able to see that on your third sheet. This is our third sheet of trace here. We're going to go ahead and work on the portals and then the tiles in the back and then the bushes. Okay. To do that, we need to understand where these openings are and what the height of these openings are. So let's see. Let me go ahead and grab another highlighter here. All right. We know that they're 4 feet 6 from the picture plane, right? That's where the openings begin. We see that the first opening, if we look from the left-hand side, the first opening is 2 feet 6 from the inside wall. 2 feet 6. The opening itself is 4 feet. And then there's a wall here in between the two openings, which is a foot wide. The next opening is 4 feet. And then from the opening to the right wall is 2 feet 6 inches. Okay, that's important to note. Something else to pay attention to is the depth of this wall. And we see that that's 2 feet. Okay, what about the height of these openings? Well, if we take a look at this interior elevation, we see over here on the right-hand side that they are 7 feet. Okay, 7 feet. Now, all that information I just shared, the distance of where the openings are in relation to the walls, and also the height here, is what we're going to make note of next. All right, so here we see we have our picture plane, right? Picture plane, we have the house, and that back wall right there, right? For this interior living space, we have our beam. What we need to measure is off of the picture plane. Notice these dimensions, they should look familiar. Over here, the lower right-hand side, we see the 2 feet 6, right? Same there. I'm going to zoom in just a bit so you can see this. Measure your 2 feet 6 and then add your tick mark. Okay. Measure your 2 feet 6, add your tick mark. Do not add these dimension lines. That's just for reference. Okay, these dimension lines are only for reference. Don't add that to your sheet. All I want you to do is measure it and put a tick mark. Again, we're working at 3/8 of an inch scale. 3/8 of an inch scale, so 2.5 feet. Okay. There's the 6 inches, 1, 2 at 3/8 of an inch scale. Then you're going to measure 4 feet, put a little tick mark, a foot, tick mark, 4 feet, tick mark. You should be left with 2 feet 6. Okay, you should be left with 2 feet 6. And then for the height of the portals, that's 7 feet. So you're going to measure on the vertical. You're going to measure 7 feet and then put a little tick mark. Okay. So again, we're measuring at 3/8 of an inch equals a foot. Okay. Go ahead and measure. Go ahead and add those tick marks. Okay. Now that you have all your little tick marks, just as we did before, everything that you have measured, we're going to go ahead and draft up a line from that tick mark to your center of vision. So you're going to go ahead and draft a line from here to there, and then from this tick mark right here to your center of vision, this tick mark to your center of vision, this tick mark to your center of vision, and even this tick mark here to your center of vision. You can go ahead and use your triangle, one of your triangles, to do that. Make sure that you're intersecting through the center of your crosshair. I can't stress that enough. It is so important to make sure that you are intersecting in the middle of your tick mark, in the middle of your crosshair. If you don't, you're going to throw everything off. I'm not kidding. And it's going to be a pain to have to figure out what went wrong, what was not accurate, and then having to redo it. Okay. So again, go ahead and draw a line from that point there, that point there, that point there, and keep going. Okay. Once you've done that, once you get to that point, then where those lines intersect your back wall, where those lines intersect the back wall, that's where you're going to go up vertically. Okay, where these lines, again, that went straight to your center of vision, where it hits the back wall, you're going to go up vertically. And here you're going to go up where it hits, you're going to go up vertically. Where the 7-foot mark went to your center of vision and it hit that back wall, from there, you're going to go across horizontally. And that is going to define your openings. Okay, that is going to define your openings. So let me go ahead and show you what that's going to look like. So we see some lines starting to be drafted from the picture plane to the center of vision. This one was for, we did something a little different here. So you see 2 lines, but you all are working just 1 line at each these intersections. And let's see, so this we can start to see where again, those lines intersect the back wall, you're going to go up vertically. Where the 7-foot line hits the back wall, you're going to go across horizontally to start to create your openings. So let me go to yours specifically here. So right now you should have, so again, the 2'6" mark, the 4 feet, the 1 foot, 4 feet, 2 feet 6. You have those lines going to where it hit the back wall. Then you're going to go up vertically like this. And then where that 7-foot mark, it goes over to your center of vision where it intersects that back wall, you're going to go across horizontally, and that'll give you the rough opening, right? That opening for the portals. Okay. Now, if you're wondering, well, you already have thickness. Yes, we're going to get there. We're working on that next. Okay. So the thickness for the back walls, once you have the rough opening, right? Once you have that opening, we need to add the thickness of the wall, which we talked about being 2 feet, right? It's 2 feet, 2 feet deep right there. How do you do that? Well, remember that diagonal line that we have here? Let me move this over a little bit. Remember that diagonal point that we added there that came from that 45-degree line, and then from that point where it intersects the horizon line, it goes over to the right-hand side of the picture plane? Remember that? Okay. Remember how we first measured this back wall, where we measured 4 feet 6 inches on the picture plane, drew a line to our center of vision, and where it intersected that diagonal, we drew a horizontal line? Remember that? Okay, same deal here. We need to know what is the distance from the picture plane to the very end of that wall. Well, we know from the picture plane to this back wall here is 4 feet 6. And then from there, we add the 2 feet. So it's a total of 6 feet 6 inches. Again, the 4 feet 6 up to this point, and then from here to here, that's 2 feet. So 6 feet 6 inches. So what I need you to do is from the lower right-hand corner of your picture plane, from the lower right-hand corner, you're going to measure 6 feet 6 inches. Okay. So from here, you're going to measure 6 feet 6 inches at 3/8 of an inch scale. So 6 feet 6 inches. We've got the 6 inches here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right there. So 6 feet 6 inches. Put a little tick mark. From there, you're going to draft a line to your center of vision, okay, which is this one here. You're going to draft a line to your center of vision where that line intersects the diagonal that we have here inside the picture plane. Where those two intersect, you're going to draft a horizontal line, okay? Where those two intersect, you're going to draft up a horizontal line with your parallel bar. Let me see if I can pull up I have lots of sheets of trace now, but let me see if I can pull this high enough. Okay. So at that intersection right there, I'm going to draft up a horizontal line. Now notice where it intersects the line where we had that 2'6" line to get this opening. See this from this point right here, that line that went to your center of vision. Okay, stay with me now. The same line that's going from this opening, remember that's 2'6" on the picture plane. Let me see if I can bring this down a little bit. Remember we measured 2'6" from here to here, drew a line to your center of vision where it intersected that back wall. That's where we went up for the vertical line for your opening. Okay, stick with me. That line where the 6'6" line, which is this one here, intersects that diagonal, you're going to draw a horizontal line until you hit the 2'6" line that gave you the opening. That intersection, from that point, you're going to go up vertically. Okay, from that point, you're going to go up vertically because that's the 2-foot depth of your wall. From that point, you're going to go up vertically. Now, how do you know where to stop? Well, from this intersection here of that opening that you created, this is on the upper right-hand corner. You're drawing a line, so drafting it up from that upper right-hand corner to the center of vision. So go ahead and draft up a line from this upper right-hand corner to your center of vision. So now where that line intersects this vertical line, at that intersection, then you're going to draw a horizontal line there. And that's going to continue on to this side. Okay, that is a 2-foot depth of this, of these walls here where the portals are. That's a 2 feet of thickness. Okay, so that's the rightmost portal. What about the left one? Okay, this same intersection where we got this step, you're going to do the same thing. Draw that horizontal line over here to the left as well. So you're going to drop that horizontal line. And where that line, so where that horizontal line intersects these lines for the opening for your portal, so it'll intersect right here and right here. At those 2 points, you're going to go up vertically with your triangle on your parallel bar. And then how do you know where to stop? Well, you're going to go ahead and draft a line from the upper right-hand corner here to your center of vision, and then this upper left-hand corner to your center of vision. And where these vertical lines intersect those diagonals, that's where you stop. And then they should match. So you should be able to create a horizontal line there. Okay, that should match. And that should give you the horizontal line there. Okay. So you should now have your portals, the opening, the 2-foot depth for those openings. Perfect. Okay, what else do you need? You need the bushes and then you need the tile. Okay. Now, the cool thing about the tile, you all should be able to see your grid, right? Because this is only your 3rd sheet. The grid should be on your 2nd sheet. So you should see your grid very clearly here. Your grid, remember, it's a 1 foot by 1 foot grid. And remember, our tiles are a foot by a foot. So the grid that you have back there, those last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 grid lines, that's actually the tile. So all you have to do is trace them. Trace them with your parallel bar, right? With your parallel bar. And then with your triangle, right, going from the center of vision through the grid, right? But the grid lines that you see behind here, the last five are the actual tile. So that's easy, right? You're just tracing those, using your parallel bar for your horizontal lines and then using your triangles for the diagonal lines. But what about the bushes? Okay. This one can seem a little tricky. Okay. This one can be a little tricky. So let's go ahead and see, how do we create the bushes? Well, we have a note. We have a note that the bushes are 4 feet high. Okay. The bushes are 4 feet high and you can see them over here in the back in our interior elevation. Okay. So how do we measure for that here? How do we know exactly how high that is? Well, on our picture plane, over here, notice on the left-hand side, I measured 4 feet. At 3/8 of an inch scale, I put a little tick mark there. Then I drafted a line from that point to the center of vision. Okay, from that point to the center of vision. And similar to how we got the height for the portals here, where that diagonal intersects the back wall, right here, we're going to draft up a horizontal line because that's the 4-foot mark at this back wall. Now the bushes are behind that. They're right behind the thickness of the wall. So we're going to draft up this horizontal line. Then we're going to continue with drawing a diagonal from this intersection here to the center of vision. So back there at that distance, right? Back there, that distance, that's 4 feet back there where the wall is. So these are bushes, right? They're bushes, it's not perfectly 4 feet all the way across. But once you get to that point, you have a really good sense as to where the height is. So from there, you can go ahead and start drafting your bushes. Okay. Once you get to that point, you can go ahead and start drafting your bushes. Again, it's not going to be perfect all the way across. It's a natural element, it's organic. So this is where you can use the skills you obtained from practicing and tracing these bushes, and you can go ahead and draft your own, and then just add a little bit of detail in there, right? So again, to get that 4-foot height for the bushes, we measured 4 feet off of the picture plane. So here on the left-hand side, and then we drafted up a line from that 4-foot mark to your center of vision. Where it intersected the back wall, we drafted a horizontal line. From there, we pulled another line to your center of vision. And then where it intersected the back wall there, that gives us an idea. From that point, that's 4 feet. So then you can do your bushes from there. You can go up a little bit higher, a little bit lower, because it's an organic object, right? Okay. All right. So with that, that helps you get to a point where you have your back wall, right? You have your back wall and 1-point perspective. You have the back wall, you have the portals, right? You have the beam, you have the bushes and the tile. The tile, remember, the last 5 rows of the grid, those are the tiles. The last 5 rows. It's not going to go all the way to this edge because remember, if we take a look at where the tiles begin, notice, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then where the wall is, see how there's a little gap between them? There's a 6-inch gap. So the tiles do not go all the way to the bottom of this back wall. They actually go in a little bit, those 6 inches. That's why you see this here, right? So this is where the grid for the 5, the last 5, that's where that ends. So it goes in a little bit. It goes in a little bit. It goes in 6 inches. Okay, and you'll see that also here Let me zoom in to the example. See how this is the back wall, and then the grid line. See how it goes back a little bit? And you have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows of the tile in the back. Okay. So this is what that back wall, the beam, let me zoom out a little bit here. This is what the back wall with the beam will look like. The 2 portals there, your bushes, and then the tile. And then the floor, just make sure you clean that up. Because again, you're not going to have this, the back wall line down here. It goes in 6 inches to where the tile is. So if you trace your grid, you're good. The 5 rows. Okay. All right. I hope that was helpful. In the next video, we're going to cover how to add the rug and then how to add the coffee table. And then you will be responsible for doing the sofa, doing the bookshelf, the table. It's more like a desk, but the table here, it's labeled as a table, and then the painting. Okay. All right. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.